Hi folks, TheFilipinaPea here. And if you're looking to spend time in Southeast Asia, maybe just to visit or maybe to retire, there are two destinations that always seem to be at the top of the list, Thailand and the Philippines. But what are the pros and cons? How can you decide? Well, who better to ask than someone who spent time in both places, looking for the answers to those same questions. Meet Steve, a world traveler who's gonna give us his opinion and tell us why. Steve, welcome to Dumaguete.
Thank you, Pei.
Well, tell us your story. Why Southeast Asia?
I've been looking at Southeast Asia for maybe 10 or 15 years because I like the culture here. I like, women are women and men are men. And I've had my eye on it. And a year ago, I reached retirement age, so I had extra money. And I decided I'd come out to Southeast Asia to take a look. So I looked at Thailand, which was the main one I'd read about. And then I discovered the Philippines.
So this is not your first time here in Dumaguete, right?
That's correct.
So why Dumaguete? How did you discover Dumaguete?
Okay, I did a lot of research into it, and Dumaguete, I tried Cebu actually as well, and I figured I wouldn't like Cebu. I was reading other bloggers and they were praising Cebu, I was more interested in finding something natural. I like nature. So Dumaguete seemed a good compromise of nature and city life. So you got plenty of facilities, and I'm afraid I'm a techie city guy, so I can't suddenly transfer into kind of wooden hat from the internet and the smartphone and stuff like this. So I decided I tried Dumaguete. Yeah. The disadvantage I've got at the moment, or what I don't like, is that we have to wear masks here, whereas in the UK they've just literally at this very moment going out of all restrictions.
Right.
And it's actually more difficult for me here because I have to wear a mask in the street. So,
I know. And since we're here in a restaurant, we're allowed not to wear a mask. How did you narrow it down between Thailand and the Philippines?
One of the things I found about Thailand is that they regard foreigners, or farangs as they call them, as always, never integrated into the community.
Farangs? Okay.
Yeah, farangs. Whereas the Philippines is more open, and especially for Brits, as I mentioned, we've got a reciprocal agreement, a reciprocal tax agreement with you because of overseas Filipino workers, and that means that we're almost welcomed here. We can stay for 30 days, get the visa extended, and so on. And I find it really easy to do. The immigration office is next to my hotel.
Right.
I just popped in. They were very friendly and everything. They were very helpful.
Okay.
So of the other two, the Philippines is easier, but the other big things is you speak English. Is one thing, and perhaps the women in Thailand are a bit more shrewd. Yeah. For my case as a Brit, I've got sufficient money for the visa, but I have to get a statement from my government to say and the government won't give the statement. So that means for me to get a full-time visa in Thailand, I have to invest a huge amount of money, and to do that, I have to sell my house, and I don't want to do that at this stage.
What were the very first things you've noticed in Southeast Asia that are very different from the West?
Shops, the queues, guards everywhere, armed guards, although I've seen this in Ecuador as well. This wouldn't be heard of in the UK. There's no armed guards.
Yeah.
The traffic, crossing the road here is like a risk, it's just like trying to avoid the cars, and the crossings, no attention is paid to pedestrian crossings.
Yeah.
The heat, obviously, but I quite like that. Also, Asia, I think, tends to have a lot more rubbish around, and I think the Philippines more than Thailand. I've seen some fairly horrific scenes in Cebu, for example, with plastic waste and stuff everywhere in public areas. And that's sad, and I know some of the bloggers here are trying to clean up the reefs because people are not so careful with their litter on the beaches and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've covered that topic before, and I had a lot of triggered Filipinos there. They're saying, what trash are you talking about? Like, that trash.
Yeah, but in Britain, we have organized refuse collections, and it's an offense to, throw rubbish down. So we are constantly told not to do this, and as you say, education. So it might be that the Filipina people are not even told to do this. So it's just been something that everyone's done.
Was it like a shock to you? Like, oh my God, why do they do that? Like that way, there are things, better ways to do that. Was it like a novelty at first?
It was a shock.
It was a shock.
My first day in Cebu, I walked from the hotel, which is towards the airport, into town. I thought walk was good for me, there's a lot of traffic. And I just looked to my right and I saw what should be a river, and all I could see was like a 2 or 3 meter high, 6 foot high pile of plastic bottles in the river. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, and I also saw this in other places as well. So I just took a picture of it, thought, wow,
Yeah, and showed it to your friends, like...
I'm afraid so, yeah.
What did they say?
I just sort of shock comments on Facebook, and things like that. But I mean, I haven't been to Manila, but I would imagine it's quite bad there.
Oh my God, yes, it is. It is. Between Manila and Cebu, I'd rather stay in Cebu.
Yeah.
Can you share any funny stories about culture shock here in the Philippines that are far different from your Western lifestyle?
Well, when I lived in Wales when I was younger, it was a fairly rural community and the neighbours knew everything that went on. And when I came here to Cebu City, I found the kind of same thing in the middle of a city.
Okay.
The taxi driver wanted to know, female taxi driver wanted to know how much I earned and was I looking to get married and stuff like that, and I'm just in a taxi, in Dumaguete, I was looking for condos and I met a lovely doorman. I must say he's a really nice chap and we exchanged phone numbers. But he was going to set me up with a condo, a wife and a business. So,
wow, it's like a one-stop shop?
Yeah, it's great, I found that was quite a bit of a culture shock because, in London, I've lived in London for 30 odd years and everything is so private,
Right.
And I didn't expect that to find in big cities, but there you go.
Now, Steve, let's talk about the pros and cons of both places between Thailand and the Philippines.
Okay.
How about food?
I have to say Thailand wins on food. When I was in Thailand, I could go to any place, and I could get great street food or cheap meals in restaurants, which are quite nutritious, very well presented, lots of fresh fruit and veg. Here you have Jollibee, KFC, not KFC, McDonald's,
Yeah.
and less of a variety.
Everything with rice and...
Oh, yeah, everything with rice, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I found 1 or 2 restaurants since I've been here, which are okay. They're along the seafront,
Okay.
I think they're mainly catering for tourists, but there were more of those in Thailand and also a better variety of Thai food. So I think I'd prefer Thailand for food.
And I totally agree because there's street food there in Thailand. They're very nutritious. It's even the presentation for street food.
Yeah.
Unlike here in the Philippines, the fried intestines or the balut, it's a lot different. And have you been to the boulevard? Their fried fish balls?
I walked past there one night only and I looked over and I thought, oh my God, I don't want any of that, thanks, and just walked straight past it.
Yeah, because that's one thing I miss about Thailand is their food.
Yeah.
Oh my God, their food is to die for. So Thailand for food, how about infrastructure?
Right, yeah, Thailand wins again, I'm afraid. Maybe centre of Cebu is quite good, but transport infrastructure seems better. I think the roads are slightly better as well, between, say, Bangkok and...
Oh yeah, they have the fast. Oh, they got the trains, and we've got trains in Manila. It's not as fast though.
I think that the hotels are newer as well. The hotels I stayed in, they tend to be newer with more, features like bar fridges and things. Whereas it's harder to find that in the Philippines. You can if you shop around, but I think generally it's harder to find a good hotel in the Philippines than it is in Thailand.
How about the internet?
It works, but I'm confused by the variety of offers you've got, and it's not so fast at all. I mean, in the hotel I was at, it was adequate, but then I moved floors to get a decent connection.
Okay.
So it was not so good, whereas in Thailand it was really on the ball. You didn't have a problem.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I haven't been to the islands yet. God knows what the islands are like.
Yeah, good luck with that. Because in Thailand, I was there. I think I've downloaded a lot of movies to take back home. I just load it up in my external hard drive because the internet here is still very slow. It's still slow, by the way, guys. It's slower back then. And you know, when when I'm watching a video on YouTube, it's just like it's buffering. But when I was in Thailand, it's like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's just playing. It's like amazing. It's like it's a different. And Thailand is fairly close to the Philippines, and why can't we have the same thing? I mean, seriously, the technology is available.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm spoiled with the UK. We've got good internet all round, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm used to seeing YouTube movies in 4K. I pay for the premium service, so there's no ads.
Yeah.
And that's one of my ways of educating myself. But come here and you get the little circle going around, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it is a little bit annoying that, yes.
Yeah. Well, food, infrastructure, internet, Thailand. It's a home run for Thailand. Healthcare. You've mentioned healthcare.
Yeah. I stayed in Pattaya the last time I went to Thailand, and I was coming to the Philippines and I wanted to get a medical. And the hospitals are so modern and so clean. And in the UK, I would have paid 500 UK pounds, which is, I don't know, about $800 for a medical. And I got one in Thailand in this beautifully clean hospital with all the facilities and all the extras on the medical thrown in for about $30 or $40. So there's just no...
Oh my God, really?
The hospital was extremely efficient and everything was well documented on computers, not paperwork.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I had a dental filling there as well. And that was really cheap. I haven't seen any dentists in Dumaguete, but the facilities I got out there were perfect. Britain has the NHS, National Health Service, which I would pay that for anyway, and I got much better treatment in Thailand. So I think there are actually medical tourism happens in Thailand, but I don't think it happens in the Philippines.
Well, how about the bureaucracy? Compare Thailand to the Philippines.
Both countries are fairly bureaucratic, but Thailand is more computerized and therefore is more efficient.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I did make a port journey and I had to fill out all sorts of things at the port. I was told I had to put my bag in. I had to go to this office for my bag and another office to get a permit and another office to get the ticket. And I've never seen such crazy bureaucracy. And it was all paperwork as well, you know.
Yeah. You have to pay something from this office and you have to go run around. Why can't they just put it in one area? I've always asked that before. You know, traveling here inter-island, going to Cebu or going to Siquijor or especially during the lockdowns. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That multiplied the amount of bureaucracy. I mean, when I came here and got off at Dumaguete Airport, I was sprayed on the left side of my body with some kind of fumigation thing.
Yeah.
What that's supposed to do, I have no idea because I haven't got COVID on my left leg, you know, so it didn't spray my whole body, just the left side. Then I had to go onto a table with piles of paperwork and fill out all these things about am I double vaccinated. I just got off the plane and double vaccinated or fully vaccinated. It was written on my passport, so I had to go through the same stuff again. There was no computer systems there at all to record, you know, in the local airports.
Yeah.
There is one other thing. I had to take something back to the Lee Plaza Mall. And it was genuinely faulty. I bought this kind of camera, wiggly tripod, like a gorilla pod is called.
Yeah.
And the top was so loose, it wouldn't stay in one position.
Okay.
But there was a big fuss. I had to go and take this receipt back and get this signed for and get another thing and get another person to come along. And then it was written on my receipt, I've already changed it, so I can't change it again, you know.
Okay.
So, I mean, it took me half an hour just to change something, whereas in the UK, the way things work there is that they're more, oh, please, oh, yes, of course we'll change it. Anything within 30 days. So there's a big difference there with bureaucracy compared to the Western countries.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to bring your receipt because they are not going to just take your word for it.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah. And even when you leave the store, they have to get it tied up in a bag. You get used to this. Most people are not. But the bag has to be tied up and the receipt has to be taped to the bag and that's checked when you go out. The guard looks at it and then punches it with like a ticket punch in the Lee Plaza Mall.
Yeah.
So it's just extraordinary the amount of time that this wastes, you know, for small items, you know, worth a few pesos.
Exactly, and they're wasting your time, their time. It's like, I would think there are at least 3 people assisting you to get a refund or product change,
Yeah.
and that's 4 people's time. So
Yeah.
again, that's it's not really fun in the Philippines when you're
No.
dealing with bureaucracy. But what about product availability, like the ones that you're used to? Can you get it in Thailand as easy as here in the Philippines?
So far, the malls are bigger in Thailand. There are bigger malls. At least I was last in Pattaya, and now I'm in Dumaguete. The malls are big in Cebu, but I have personally the things that I want, which are small electronic gadgets, I can get here in what's it called, Mr. DIY, for example,
Yeah.
and that's also in Thailand as well. And in the Lee Plaza Mall, they've got like on the first level they have electronic stuff.
Right.
And I needed a charger for my phone, so I've not really had any problem. But if it came to something more like a laptop or a mobile phone, then I think that might be different. And especially specialist video and audio equipment, which I believe has to come from America, and it adds to the expense, yeah? Because the Philippines are islands, obviously.
Yes.
Whereas probably Thailand is easier because it's connected to the mainland.
So this part is why you choose the Philippines. It's because of the people.
Yeah.
So do you find us friendlier than Thai?
Yes, absolutely.
More welcoming?
Absolutely, yeah, more welcoming. Yeah.
Okay.
Less shrewd, as we said earlier. I mean, the Filipinas and Filipinos are genuinely seem to want to help people, and I like this. This is really good. This is one of the big plus points for the Philippines. And I've seen this said in other places as well, and I can confirm it.
Okay. So you have no problems communicating with people, asking help or directions?
The other thing is English, directions. Well, I haven't asked directions yet because I've got a smartphone.
Good for you.
Yeah, actually, when I got in the trike to come here,
Yeah.
the guy kind of pretended he knew where it was without knowing where it was, and then he had to stop and I had to show him on this and explain. So this is why I never run out of battery and never run out of internet.
Okay.
This is my lifeline. Yeah.
GPS. Okay, it's a must, especially in the Philippines because.
Yeah, I tend to rely on myself and not on other people.
Anyway, so friendlier people, warmer people. I mean, more welcoming and.
Yeah, more family orientated. I think that's the difference. I mean, Western culture I think has gone a bit crazy these days with the woke culture and the feminism and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And the
Men bad.
There.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Have you noticed a lot of feminists in this country?
No, thank God.
Thank God, no. I think that's one of the reasons why you left the West.
Yes, it is. I was unfortunate enough. I supported feminism, and I was unfortunate enough to join what was essentially a feminist community in Scotland. And I basically think that the feminist definition of a good man is a woman. There's a man is a faulty woman. So I couldn't really be a male in the UK. And then the more I looked into it, and I learned about the red pill movement and so on, then I thought, oh God, I'm out of here.
Well, good for you, Steve. You dug the tunnel out of the plantation.
Yeah.
And you're free. You're free. You're free. Congratulations, Steve.
I am so free. I feel so free here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons I'm here, because you're feminine out here and not feminist as it is in the UK.
They don't even know, most Filipinos that I've encountered, they don't even know what feminists are.
No, I mean, in principle, feminism sounds great. If women are put down, then let's bring women up and promote feminism. But it's seemed to turn into a battle against men. Where,
they're trying to be the dominators instead of just equality. I don't see the point. It's not even a question here. Although there are some in the bigger cities that are more career-oriented, but it's far different from the Western feminists that I've seen.
You've got this like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's called. On the bottom bit, to go to the top levels, you need the basics, which is food, water, housing. That's the priority. In the West, I think they've got so much wealth, they don't know what to do with themselves, so they got
too much time on their hands.
Exactly, and they make up these crazy laws and say men should be more feminine, and all sorts of strange things are going on there. And this is just beyond me. I mean, this some of the stuff.
We like our men to be men.
Yeah, men also want women to be women. We don't want career women. Why would we want a career woman? We want a woman, you know, that looks after children and things like that, you know, and is feminine.
Yeah,
So-
and I think Filipinas are, I don't know, it's like we're built to be housewives and mothers. We're not afraid to
That's
choose.
not a derogatory term.
No, no,
Yeah.
but some women, Western women would think like,
Exactly.
yeah. No, for us, it is like we appreciate being homemakers.
Yeah.
We love to show off that we can take care of our husbands and our children.
Yeah, I think the problem is in the West, there's kind of a culture now where men get married and then they get divorced, and then the men end up working and paying for the family, which they don't see. And I think that's put a lot of people off marriage. I suppose in a way I'm lucky that I didn't get married in the West. And when I saw the way things were, I was thankful. And then the more I studied the Philippines and Thailand and Eastern cultures, the more I wanted to come here.
Okay, so Steve, compare the Thai women to Filipinas physically. Are they taller, cuter, tanner? I don't know.
I think Thai women are very beautiful, actually. But I also think Filipinas are very beautiful. They're slightly different.
Yeah.
I think in some cases Thai women can be very, very attractive. So I would perhaps give the edge to Thai women. But that said, they can be more crafty about getting people's money out of them. And
Crafty, okay.
yeah, I mean, I've seen some horror stories. So I did look at a few blogs from both countries before I came here, and I saw some dreadful stories about Thai women with multiple men pretending they were in a relationship with them and getting one to buy a house, another to run a business, you know, and trying to keep the one separate. So
Right.
sorry, I think I probably think Thai women are slightly more attractive.
Obviously, the beauty standards are different from each. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's your preference, but yeah, I've heard that guys said that Thai women are physically more attractive than Filipinas. The good thing about us is we speak English. That's our edge. I mean, better English than Thai women. And as you've mentioned, we're not as shrewd or cutthroat.
Well, I think there's, I don't know how to say this. I would say not racist, but because of the language barrier
Yeah.
and the different cultures, the Thai women might regard Westerners as good game. You know, they see them as separate. They see them as walking ATMs that come there. You know, and not all Thai women, but there are some websites that tell other Thai women how to do this.
What?
Okay.
What?
Yeah. I can dig that out for you sometime. But
Okay.
yeah.
There's
yeah.
like how to
rip off Western
off-
men, you know, and it's
how to rip off the Farangs.
Yeah, mostly done online, of course. It's like buying a car. You see the car you want, it's the perfect color. You kind of ignore the big problems with the engine and all that business. You just see the good sides of it.
Right. Do you think Thai women are more upfront compared to Filipinas? Like they have this price tags on their head. Like this is what you have to pay for if you want to have a relationship with me.
Well, funny enough, I got friendly with a Thai girl. I won't mention her name, but
Okay.
we did get a little bit friendly, and I kind of mentioned before I realized fully that there was visa problems and stuff, you know, about marriage. And
Yeah.
as soon as she knew my income, she said, "Oh, you got to send like a third of it to my parents." So you just price yourself out of the market, mate. You know, sorry.
A third of your income?
Yeah, 30% actually. So
Okay.
I mean, basically that I thought, no way, you know, because my standard of living is based upon my income.
Right.
If I choose to marry someone and have a family, then we'll work out a budget together, you know. But I don't just meet someone and say, hey, you know, what if we get married? And they say, oh yeah, you got to give 30% of your income to my family. Sorry, that's just not on.
I know.
And
They have
I
this
heard about
dowry.
dowry. I know. I
Yeah.
didn't get asked for a dowry, but I thought, okay, let's completely forget Thailand now and come to the Philippines.
But have you heard also the horror stories of, you know, Filipino families they're going to be expecting monthly support from the
Yeah.
foreign husband or boyfriend.
If parents are going to have children, they should have enough money to bring them up and support them in the world, not have children to look after them in their old age. Very good if they do, but that's a bonus that you don't have children to get something back. It's almost like a pyramid selling scheme, you know. Oh my God, I've not got enough money, so I better have some kids for them to provide me with income. You can't do it that way. You have to, if you bring children into the world, you should make sure that you've got a stable background and sufficient resources to bring them up with whatever lifestyle that you think is right for them. So I think that parents should do that, should act responsibly.
Yes,
Yeah.
and a lot of them should act responsibly here, because if they can't save for themselves, then they're just, sending their money back to their parents. Then how could you save for your future, for your own family?
Yeah.
So let's break the wheel.
Yep.
Let's break the wheel.
Yeah, all people need financial security, but I think that the Thai people, the Thai women perhaps ask for more than what's necessary.
More?
Let's just say.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a great idea to sort of take time out between two cultures to get to learn the new culture before you start trying to interacting with the new culture, you know.
Okay.
When I say interacting, I mean like don't get too serious and get married before you really know what you're doing or something like that.
And if you want to get married, please have a prenup, guys.
Yeah, and marriage is a one-way ticket in the Philippines.
Yes. Yeah. Steve, I've got the impression that you are leaning towards the Philippines more than Thailand, right?
Yeah.
But have you decided?
Well, 99%, I think. You know, I'm keeping my mind open. It's more than likely to. I want to make a base out here, and the base is likely to be the Philippines.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain it's going to be the Philippines. That's partly because of the pension thing, but there's so many other things as well, like the English language and so on. You know.
Right.
I mean, English language is a big thing for me.
Right, because it's a lot easier to live in a country that you can communicate with other people, like the locals.
Yeah. Otherwise, you know, if you find someone, how can you have a relationship with a woman if you can't speak the same language?
So, Steve, what's your advice for the guys out there who are looking to retire here in the Philippines?
Do your research
Please.
and watch the FilipinaPea
Oh, yes,
channel
please.
as well, because this is one of the most useful ones I've found, to be perfectly honest with you.
Aw, thank you so much, Steve. Enjoy your stay here in Dumaguete City.
Thank you, P.
You're welcome. And for you guys out there, you know that I'll be back in just a few days with something different you haven't seen before. So you gotta stay tuned, guys. That's it for now. Bye.
Just sit right back.
If you think about it, I'm kind of like Marianne. We both have bubbly personalities. We've lived in bamboo huts, and both of us are stuck on a tropical island, doing whatever we can to get off. If you want to help me get rescued, please subscribe to my channel, share my videos with friends, and hit that notification bell so you can see my next episode. And if you really want to save me, check out my Patreon channel for extra content and exclusive videos. And also like Marianne, I have to take cold showers. Hey Gilligan, will you throw me that towel?
Venus little towels.
I'm really not looking forward to this.
No, you sure don't look like the skipper.
Gilligan? Only 4 men on the island, and I have to get stuck with a peeping Gilligan.